ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਜੁਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਵੀ ਸੱਚ ਏਕ ਅਦਤੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵਾ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਗੁਰ ਅੰਗਦ ਪੇਵਾ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਗੁਰ ਅਮਰ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਕਰਤਾ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਗੁਰਬਾਰੇ ਪੁਰਖ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਰਜਨ ਸੁਖਦਾਨੀ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਹਰਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਗੁਣ ਖਾਨੀ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਹੈ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਹਰਿ ਰਾਏ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਹਰਿ ਕ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਨ ਧਿਆਏ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਰਾਏ ਸਹਿਬਾਂ ਗੁਰ ਦਸਵੇਂ ਸਹਾय ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਗੁਰ ਗਿਆਨਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਬੰਦਨ ਭਗਵਾਨਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਕਲ ਜੁਗ ਪਇਓ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਰੂਪ ਮਾਨ 10 ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਇਹੋ ਰੂਪ ਹੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਜੀ ਜਾਨ ਪੂਰਨ ਦੇਖਿਓ ਆਤਮਾ ਦ્વੈਤੈ ਸਰਬ ਨਿਵਾਰ ਪਏ ਸ਼ਾਂਤ ਮਨ ਸੰਤੇ ਤਨ ਪਦ ਨਮੋ ਹਮਾਰ ਮੂਹ ਕੋ ਚਰੇ ਸ਼ਾਸਤਰ ਖਾਟ ਪੈਂਗਰਨ ਛੜ ਜਾਏ ਅੰਤ ਲਿਖੈ ਬਦਰੋ ਸਨੇ जो काल कृपा कराए कहा बुद्ध प्रभु तुझ हमारी बरन सके महिमा जो तारी हम न सकत कर से तुम्हारी आप ले हो तुम कथा सुधारी सो कहो टल गुर सेविय निस सहज सुभाय दर्शन परसिय गुरु के जन्म मरण दुख जाय दर्शन परसिय गुरु के जन्म मरण दुख जाय
सतनाम श्री वाहिगुरु साहिब जी थापिया ना जाए कीता ना होए आपे आप निरंजन सोए जिन सेव्या तिन पाया मान नानक गाविय गुणी निदान गाविय सुनिय मन रखिय पाओ दुख पार हर सुख कर लै जाए गुरमुख नादन गुरमुख वेदन गुरमुख रहया समाई गुर ईसर गुर गोरख बर्मा गुर पार्वती माई जे हो जाना आखा नाही कहना कथन न जाई गुरा एक देह बुझाई सबना जिया का एक दाता सो मैं विसर न जाई
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਰੂਪ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ We're continuing on with the Katha from the Sri Japji Sahib from the Sampardaic Tikas of Sant Gyani Gurbachan Singh Ji, Sant Amir Singh Ji, Sattu Galiwale, which was actually written down by Sant Kirpal Singh Ji, Sattu Galiwale. Well, the Sampardaic Tikas have gone into elaborate depth into the verses written by Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji, the knowledge given by Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji, rather than going into the basics that are provided within every other tika, which lack a context. There is a great context given with every line of Gurbani, with who is being told, why, what are the questions being asked, and the answers which are the Gurbani that form the Sri Japji Sahib, and what the answers actually convey, what the message is being conveyed to the Sangat. And previously we went into the 6 different gun of the Guru, and how they give vidya and knowledge to the individual, and what the fal is, what the merit is of doing that. And last time, the last line that we completed last time was Gaviya Suniya Manarakia Pau. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue on with the arts of the 5th body of the Japji Sahib, where we left off last time. And here the Siddhs are asking, they say, Maharaj, tell us what is the merits of doing all this? What is the merit of doing all these things that you've mentioned? And Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji replied,
Dukh par har sukh kar le jaye.
Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji says here, look, the merit is simple. Dukh is your pain, and parhar is eradicated, is removed. And what is the dukh here? The dukh here is the transmigration of the soul into the different bodies that pertain to birth and death. Because this is the dukh, and this is what is taken away. Dukh parhar sukh kar le jai. Parhar means move, distanced. So this cycle of transmigration is distance, it's gone. What happens is all the pain that a person suffers, all the distress that a person has, is removed, it's eradicated, and it is replaced with sukh. Dukh parhar sukh kar le jai. Sukh here is the bliss, blissful form of Vaheguru. That's what enters. The person gains that kar le jai. And what that means by that is a person gains knowledge of the kar, the abode, the form of Vaheguru. They gain knowledge of the form of Vaheguru. In essence, they gain that true form. they become that true form. And that is the merit of doing all this. So the Siddhs here heard this and the Sikhs heard this. And then they asked, they said, okay, if that is the merit of doing this, the Sikhs have asked, said, if that is the merit of doing this, then Gurmukhi Maharaj tell us, how does a person gain knowledge? He says, Gurmukhi Gyan di Prapti Vale Hana. The person who gains knowledge through these different methods, what are the methods? A person can gain knowledge through different methods, but what are the methods that a person needs to use in order to gain the knowledge of Sikha Katha, which is the emergence of the Jeev and the Paramatma? And Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji reply,
Gurmukh Nadan.
Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, look, the first thing they say is Gurmukh Nadan. So the Gurmukh is the individual who is orientated towards the Guru. He is the one who focuses on the terms of the Guru, the words of the Guru, the discourse of the Guru, and follows them. And it says Gurmukh Nadan. Here it says Gurmukh, what they should do is they should do Kirtan. They should perform Kirtan. This is the first sadhana that they should do. They should perform Kirtan. By doing this, the mind becomes under control. Once it becomes under the control through the singing of Shabads, then that person will gain the knowledge from those sermons. They'll become focused upon the devotion and meditation of Vaheguru as well. And the mind of the devotee goes through these three different phases. The first one is where they listen to the Shabads and control it. The second one is where they realize that the Shabad is the greatest thing. They sing these Shabads and they gained the knowledge from the sermons they gain. And due to that, the devotee lastly focuses on Vaheguru. Only once the mind has become settled will the mind want to focus on Vaheguru. Ask anybody who's a Bhakt who recites the name of God. Without controlling the mind will continue to run like a wild horse. It can go in any direction at any point. It will take you away from the point of focus. Through Kirtan, a person gains focus. They gain a way of controlling their mind. And it's through that focus that a person should then meditate on Vaheguru. And Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji says that's the first. So Gurmukh Nadan, that's the first thing you do. Then Guru Nanak Dev Ji continues.
Gurmukh Vedan.
They say Gurmukh Vedan. They say the Guru here is considered the greatest. Gurmukh. The words of the Guru are the greatest as well. Mukhi Guru. So the Guru is the greatest. And what it is the Guru gives the knowledge, Vedan, the knowledge of the Shabads. And it's the knowledge of the Shabads that is given through the sermons of the Guru. And after doing that, a person's mind, and this only happens after a person's mind becomes tired of listening to Kirtan. Once they have listened to Kirtan, they'll go, well, I want to know what this means. I can recite all these Shabads, and you see a lot of people who can recite a lot of Shabads, or they know Bani off the top of their mind. They can recite the Japji Sahib and the Rare House and Japai Sahib and other Shabads as well. They can recite them. But when you ask them what any of that means, they can't tell you anything. And what Guru Nanak Dev Ji here is saying to Sikhs is initially do Kirtan, listen to Kirtan, sing Kirtan. And your mind will come to a point where it stands still and goes, I'm listening to this, but I don't understand this. What do I need? And then it's from the Guru that a person listens to the vichar of the Shabad. And that's the second phase that a person has. And then the third phase, Guru Nanak Dev Ji says,
Gurmukh Rahya Samai.
and then Guru Nanak Dev Ji saying here is what happens then is the mind becomes completely focused upon the meditation of Vaheguru, who is ever present, who is all around us. The mind of the devotee goes through these three different phases. This is the three different states of mind that a person goes through. And Gurbani says, Gyan Dhyan Simran Mile Pi Apayo Sanjog. Asogi. So Gyan Dhyan Simran Mile Pi Apayo Asogi. So Gurbani states that there is through those three different things, through knowledge, through focus, meditation. It is through those methods that a person's mind becomes absorbed and focused upon Vaheguru. So these are the practices that a person should do. These are the practices that Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji says that a person should do in every way. But then Guru Nanak Dev Ji is asked again and again. So the Sikhs then ask to say, okay, you've told us about these things. These are the methods. And then Guru Nanak Dev Ji goes on and continues. They repeat the same verse again because they're saying, look, what happens when a person gains the knowledge through singing. So Gurmukhi Nadan, through singing the praises. Then Gurmukhi Vedan, through deliberating upon the verses. Gurmukhi Samai, they become focused upon Vaheguru. But they say, well, you've told us about the dhyan, you've told us about those things. Then Guru Nanak Dev Ji again reply.
Gurmukhi Samai.
They say what happens is the mind will remain focused upon Vaheguru, and then they become one with Vaheguru. They say if a person is constantly to recite the name of Vaheguru, Vaheguru, then they become immersed within Vaheguru through his kirtan. They become immersed in kirtan all the time. And through this method, then they start doing bhakti as well. They do abhyas. Through the abhyas, they start doing the kirtan. Through kirtan, they start listening to katha to understand what is being said. And then their focus becomes one on Vaheguru. And forever it remains upon Vaheguru, who is everywhere in one constant time. And the Sikhs heard this again. Obviously, these questions have been given to the Siddhs as well, but the Sikhs have heard this before. And they've said, okay, so a Sikh will perform the kirtan, he then deliberates upon the true form of Vaheguru, and then through the katha, they finally become absorbed in constant God. And Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, yeah, that's correct. But then Guru Nanak Dev Ji goes on and repeats the same line again, and he starts with it.
Gurmukhi Nadan.
And Guru Nanak Dev Ji says here, let's say, when the Guru gives the people the discourses from the mouth of a Sikh, a person should sing these. They should listen to the Shabads themselves and repeat them. They listen upon that Shabad and recite it again. And then Guru Nanak Dev Ji continues.
Gurmukhi Vedan.
They say the Gurmukh here is the adhikari, is the Jigyasu, is the student. And what they do is they will Vedan. Vedan means deliberate upon. They will deliberate upon that Shabad. They will deliberate upon that bachan that's given to them. And then Guru Nanak Dev Ji says what will happen after that is
Gurmukhi Samai.
Then what will happen is they will realize that the form of the Guru is Paramatma, and they will merge with Paramatma and become one with Paramatma through this love and devotion that they have. In this way, the Atma and Paramatma merge and become one and the same. So the Sikhs have asked these questions here. They said, okay, so what you've said is from that there is an equal relationship between Atma and Paramatma, and there's emergence. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji says here, you got to remember, within this one Shabad you've had Gurmukhi Nadan, Gurmukhi Vedan, Gurmukhi Samai. Gurmukhi is mentioned 3 times. Gurmukhi is mentioned for 3 different individuals. The first Gurmukh mentions the Satguru Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji, that he is the greatest of all. He is the Mukhi. He is Gurmukh. And then the second Gurmukh, Gurmukh Vedan, like we said there, it's the devotee who is deliberating. So that's the Gurmukh there. And then the last one is Gurmukh, which is the greatest form of all, which is the Chetan Swarup of Vaheguru. The conscious form of Vaheguru. It is a conscious form that allows everything to take place. Without the conscious form of Vaheguru, nothing happens. The body does not move, the mouth does not talk, no organs facilitate any use, nothing occurs. So that's why there's 3 Gurmukhs mentioned here. There are 3 different distinct Gurmukhs. And for the last article, that's why the first one is the Satguru, listen to the Satguru. The second one is the Gurmukh deliberating, so that's the student. The third one is the Gurmukh Samai, is Vaheguru, is the Jivatma merges with the Paramatma. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji explains here to say, look, this is what a person should do. This is how they should practice and become one with Vaheguru through these methods. And so Guru Nanak Dev Ji continues.
Je ho jana akha nahi.
They say, look, they say to the devotee, they say, look, if one is to understand that God is pure, then they will still not be able to fully utilize it. They will realize that God is completely pure. You'll understand Him through such a method, but you'll still not be able to do justice upon the praise of Vaheguru. So the Sikhs heard this, and they then replied and said, Vaheguru, why can nobody fully eulogize Vaheguru? What is the reason for that? Because if one becomes merged with the divine, if the Atma merges with the Paramatma, then they gain the divine knowledge of who they are. And Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji replies,
Kehna kathan na jai.
They say it's simple as this: due to the strength of power of God, one cannot fully eulogize God. To perceive the energy of God is only through an estimate of the truth. Everybody who talks about God gives a partial truth, because nobody knows the true ultimate truth. Those people who do become one with God, they become engrossed within the Alpha and Omega, the supreme nature of God, that they themselves lose their own identity, and they cannot speak about what experience they are having. So that's the reason why they cannot say anything about the true strength of Vaheguru, the true powers. It is only an estimation. And Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji then continue.
Gura ek dehe bujai.
They say the Guru, only through the meditation and devotion that the Guru has performed, he has come to perceive and understand the one Vaheguru. It is through that method that the Guru has made the devotee understand the knowledge that he possesses. And you can see that through the Gurbani of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. 1,430 pages of divine knowledge on just God. There are no stories there are no fables in there, there's no mythology in there. It is the truth, and it is just praise on Vaheguru. And still, that divine knowledge has been given to us, but we cannot comprehend it. So Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji then continues,
Sabna jiya ka ek data.
That God Himself is the Father to all beings within creation. And Maharaj continues,
So main visar na jai.
You got to understand, Guru Nanak Dev Ji is saying his form and my form are now completely the same. There is no difference. It's through the discourses of the Guru, it is through the Vidya of the Guru, that an individual pays attention, gains faith within the teachings. Once they have faith in the teachings, they realize the form of God. And for that reason, the form of God and the form of the devotee are initially separated, but they become one. They become joint. They merge, and they can never be separated again, in the way that a drop of rain merges with the ocean. They take on each other's characteristics, and you can never separate that one drop again. And the Sikhs then ask, does a person ever forget the form of God? Once they hit this stage, once they become all engrossed and consumed with the form of God, did it ever forget His form? And Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji reply,
So main visar na jai.
The first bit was so me. So what that is you and me. That's what Guru Nanak Dev Ji is talking about, saying God is so and me and Him are one and the same. We become one and the same. There is no difference between us. And here they've asked, obviously, does anybody forget them? And Maharaj replies, Visarnajai. Visarnajai, they say no one never forgets the form of God during this moment. They become the form of God. And no one should ever forget the name of God at any point in the 24 hours that they are awake or alive or asleep. The form of God remains manifest, and one remembers God in every moment once they reach a stage. So once they reach this essence, they become Paramatma themselves. Once they are Paramatma, there is no forgetting. There is the bodily states that we see of Jagrat, Sup and Sukopat, which are the awakened sleep and sleep and dream states. They only exist within this human form. But the spiritual form that is inside, that remains separate. And because it remains separate, a person never forgets, they never detach from God again, and they remain in that manner. So that brings us to the end of the definitions for this body. Next time we'll go through the definitions again, but they'll be anve, which means, like we said before, where the lines are used separately, they're in a different order altogether. Sometimes you get the previous line first line after. It could be the last line done first. It's a way of deliberating upon the messages hidden within a Bhakti or a body. But for this body, we will leave it there. Kamalpreet Singh, if you want to close it, please, and we'll do the Mangals. Thank you.
ਥਾਪਿਆ ਨਾ ਜਾਏ ਕੀਤਾ ਨਾ ਹੋਏ ਆਪੇ ਆਪ ਨਿਰੰਜਨ ਸੋਏ ਜਿਨ ਸੇਵਿਆ ਤਿਨ ਪਾਇਆ ਮਾਨ ਨਾਨਕ ਗਾਵੀਐ ਗੁਣੀ ਨਿਦਾਨ ਗਾਵੀਐ ਸੁਣੀਐ ਮਨ ਰੱਖੀਐ ਪਾਓ ਦੁਖ ਪਾਰ ਹਰ ਸੁਖ ਕਰ ਲੈ ਜਾਏ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਨਾਦਨ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਵੇਦਨ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਰਹਿਆ ਸਮਾਈ ਗੁਰ ਈਸਰ ਗੁਰ ਗੋਰਖ ਬਰਮਾ ਗੁਰ ਪਾਰਵਤੀ ਮਾਈ ਜੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਾ ਆਖਾ ਨਾਹੀ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਕਥਨ ਨ ਜਾਈ ਗੁਰਾ ਇਕ ਦੇਹ ਬੁਝਾਈ ਸਭਨਾ ਜੀਆ ਕਾ ਇਕ ਦਾਤਾ ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਵਿਸਰ ਨ ਜਾਈ
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। हे गोबिंद हे गोपाल हे दयाल लाल प्राणनाथ अनाथ सखे दीन दर्द निवार हे समर्थ अगम पूरन मोहे मया तार अंधकूप महाबयान नानक पारे उतार आए प्रभु शरणागति कृपा निध दयाल एक अखर हर मन वसते नानक होत निहाल एक अखर हर मन वसते नानक होत निहाल। वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह।